Hi, welcome to our channel. Please hit the bell icon and the like button. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos.
Subject-Verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement means that the subject and the verb in a particular sentence are going to match in terms of their singularity, their plurality, their tense, etc. So if we look at the singular subjects and their matching verbs on the left-hand side, you can see that she jogs, something we would say. He gardens. Maya knows. Pedro feels. When it takes the plural, it should have a plural verb to match the subject. They jog. Volunteers garden. The salespeople know. Students feel. And when you're creating a sentence, it's important to make sure that your subject and your verb always match, regardless of how far they are apart in the sentence. So let's take a look at a few examples. One of the candies is open. The people who go to that store are few. The main character, along with his friends, is anxious. The series, including all the episodes in the first season, is boring. The woman with all the cats walks down my street. Neither of our teas has caffeine. If you said correct to all of these, you were correct. These are all correct. Some of them sound like they're wrong, and that's mainly because they're likely a special case. So in some cases, when we use information parenthetically, even if we don't use the parentheses, we still ignore that in the subject-verb agreement rule. So the series, including all the episodes in the first season, is boring. So including all the episodes in the first season is parenthetical information. And even though we say episodes there, we're talking about the series as a whole. So the series is boring. Boston and all New England cities tend to get snow in January. Similar example, and all the New England cities would be an example of parentheticals. But remember, Boston is the city to which we're referring, so we say Boston tends, instead of New England cities tend to get snow in January. The first author, as well as the last two authors, has approved the proofs. Same case here, the first author is the person to whom we're referring. So the verb should match that subject. So the author has approved the proofs. Another special case has to do with when you have a mix of singular and plural objects and they're joined together with an or. When that happens, the rule is you go with the subject closest to the verb. So either the management or the employees have to reconsider. You can see we have one singular, we have one plural, so management singular, employees plural, and our have is the verb there. We're going to make that match employees because it's closer to the verb, it's closer to the have. Here's another example. Either the students or the professor has to give in. Same idea here. Since the professor is closer to the verb, has, we'll make those two match. So if you have an or and a mix of singular and plural subjects, go with the one closest to the verb. It doesn't matter if the dog or the cats are out. It doesn't matter if the dog or the cats are. So cats is closer to the verb, and we use are out for that one. Another special case is when we use either or neither, but there's no or. Let me give you an example. It doesn't matter if either of the pets is out. We have, it doesn't matter if either. And if we were to say that aloud in a long form, it would be, it doesn't matter if either one of the pets is out. So, even though it might sound incorrect, this is the correct use of is in this sentence. You could also say it doesn't matter if the pets are out. That would be the more concise way to say it. Or it doesn't matter if either pet is out. But when you're using either or neither, you're talking about one. Pasta salad or potato salad? Either is good for dinner. We wouldn't say either are good for dinner because it's either one is good for dinner. Neither of the options sounds reasonable. Again, anytime you use either or neither, you're probably talking about neither one or either one, and that means a one. So if you have a singular subject, your verb should match. Let's test ourselves. The coach, as well as the goalie, blank at the school. If you answered is, you are correct. That would be an example of a parenthetical. The coach, as well as the goalie, is at the school. Since it's in parentheticals, we don't pull that into the subject-verb calculation because we're just talking about the coach. How about this one? Either of the flavors blank fine, is or are. Is the correct answer. That's an either, neither, or either, neither, if you prefer. Example of subject-verb. How about this one? Diego is the only one of those students who blank lived up to the potential described in the yearbook. Which would you choose? You chose has. You are correct. It's a second subject sandwich. So Diego is the only one of those students who has lived up to the potential described in the yearbook. Even though there's a second subject, those students, Diego is the main subject of that sentence, and therefore has should match Diego and not the students instead of have. Few products blank been as successful as the wristwatch. Has or have? You chose have? Right on. That's just an original recipe subject-verb agreement thing. Few products have. The builder, as well as the homeowners, blanked to submit a permit. Need or needs? Another parenthetical example. How about this one? Pasta or kebabs blank good for dinner. Sound or sounds? In this case, we go with the verb closest to the second subject because we have pasta, which is somewhat singular in its sounding, and kebabs, which is plural. Since we're using sound as the verb, we're just gonna match that with kebabs since it's closest to kebabs. You could say kebabs or pasta sounds good for dinner. You just go with the one closest. Rain or snow blank expected tomorrow. The answer is. That's just a second subject sandwich. We have the rain or the snow. It's not mixed in with an either or a neither, but we're talking about one or the other. So it's an is. Neither of the two pinball machines blank working. If you said is, you're right on because it's neither one. One more. Rain or hailstorms blank expected tomorrow. This is a tricky one because we have two subjects and one is plural, one is singular. So remember the rule. You go with the one closest to the verb. So rain or hailstorms are expected tomorrow. And remember, that's the mixed subjects with an or in the middle. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's subject-verb agreement. Keep your subject and verbs in agreement. They're best friends. Let me know if you have questions.